Well, you are right. So you wouldn't be wrong.
Oh, Blackjack, do you want to do juror number 2?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Am I still playing the... Hang on, am I still playing the defendant?
Yes, you are.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, I think Arkham was juror number 3. Trav was juror number 5. You were the old lady, and Daru was the writer. A little on the nose, but you know.
The lady. So in the stream, there's some music, but it is not from this game.
It is not because I had it playing because yeah, it's trying to turn it off. It's all gone. It's all gone now. Is there supposed to be gaming music? Yes, because I usually put like random music on whenever it's on the starting soon part. Anyway, I guess we're gonna do a sound test thingy. Daru, you start.
Oh, hey, what's up? I was listening to the stream, so yeah, I think I sounded okay.
Oh, okay. Oh. Everything else sounds fine. Blackjack, Arkham.
I don't hear a thing. I just hear you guys.
Yeah, we're just testing people's mics.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say I don't hear the game at all.
Oh, because there's no music right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Everyone sounds good from the stream's perspective,
Okay.
as far as I could tell.
All right.
Everyone can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it must have been him.
I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence.
Hey, stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen.
I wonder. Arkham, try raising your volume gain a bit.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
It was a little quiet.
Yeah. Okay. We're good. I'm going to move on.
I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion.
You can trust the guild. Fair fares is on motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years.
A scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief.
I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed this for now.
Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they?
Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I have to throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Mr. Donato. According to my book, that's not quite how it works.
Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant.
Unfortunately. Once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says.
But then...
They've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become.
Then what on earth am I supposed to do?
Oh dear. I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work, then?
From what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the juror's own words to make your arguments.
What do you mean?
Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public, so they say. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers, so they say, who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together.
And that's the way to break them down, you mean?
Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other.
I see. So it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination.
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off!
Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this, expecting a clear and concise rebuttal.
In
Yes,
this game?
my lord. What?
In this game?
Not likely.
Not likely, but it'll be something to watch. Oh, look,
Look
I'm standing!
Front facing Ryunosuke.
The defense's rebuttal. How does this works? Oh, we can press it as well.
Yes.
Okay. I thought we couldn't, because... Okay.
4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence.
It says pit juror number 2 with the 5th juror. 1, 2, 3, this one.
The leprechaun.
This one.
Objection!
These 2 statements clearly contradict each other.
You do? Explain yourself, counsel.
Blackjack.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on Silverblaze's maiden name, I have the first idea of what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Right. I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is. A fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man? Why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication...
Ah! It would be 16 pence.
Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely, 1 person's fare.
One person's fare.
Yes! In other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've never heard about. That's not the script.
Gracious! This can't be right! The coachman of the guild are good, honest men, one and all. Trustworthiness is a watchword.
Oh, hello, Red. Yes, it does slap hard.
OMG, hi, Red.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread over London. All over. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end,
Well, according to my book here, simply launch a ball of fire into the innocent side of the set of scales.
You hold your horses, coachman! We were all in agreement! Why did what?
Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo!
Got him.
Got him. Wrong. This is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same.
This is so extra.
A little bit. For the love of Mike! Not you too as well! Not you as well!
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. You did it! You can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds. We can force the trial to continue.
2 more. Actually, there is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions.
And that's where you must strike next.
So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions.
Exactly. You can do it!
You can read minds, Susato?
It's written very plainly on his face.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
Ooh. Ooh.
Song is one of my favorite in the entire game.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Let's see about it. Pits that one with
Objection!
These 2 statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel, post-haste.
Oh, dearie me, I was only knitting a jumper for my other half.
What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you?
We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the exact moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. I keep changing the scripts.
You're fine.
Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3.
What? Can't you see I'm busy here?
Your knife's kind of stuck there. How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it?
Ha! Want to test me, do you? It was like this. Stuck the fella next to him without even getting up, just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do you for, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it... It was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move! Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor.
I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What?
That's my stitches. What a muddle.
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh.
But why? Why the dickens would they lie?
I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if this trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies. The scales.
I don't believe it.
Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in this black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on all of us.
All right.
President Shinra needs to relax.
If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me, Dark Jinx.
Okay.
Me?
What exactly is the problem? What of it if 2 witnesses have slightly different recollections of events?
What of it?
Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus. And this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say that the victim will collapse on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again. And this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that?
Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Well, I should take this knife to you.
Who are you calling gold? I should take this needle to you.
Buckle up.
They're ready. I'll kill each other now.
Else?
But could the
It
foreman...
froze for a second.
What happened?
I don't know. The game froze for me for a second.
Oh, should I reset it?
It's fine for me, but
On my end.
All right.
Is it okay, Blackjack?
Yeah, it is now.
Okay. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the 2 witnesses see 2 different moments of the same crime? No. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it, you dirt jinx? Come on, out with it!
What you're suggesting is impossible.
It's out of the question. Ooh, wait. What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So, where's your evidence, man? That's what I want to see. I say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof.
It looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish.
What?
I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. As proven by... I'm just gonna get it real quick. Stab
Single
once.
Stab wound.
Sound was stabbed once.
Take that!
This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once.
Only once?
It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times.
All right. I concede defeat.
I've been yelling for 10 minutes. Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty.
We've done it, Mr. Nahoda. We've won!
What are you playing at, you dandy fool?
Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me.
But we had a consensus.
I said shut your trap. I know a lie when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head.
Ooh,
How is he not cutting himself?
no idea.
He's very good at what he does.
He is a very good barber. Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in quite a remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate. And the trial must continue. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
Ooh.
Woo!
We did it.
So, Lord Van Zieks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
Oh, all right.
Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crash to crush it to dust. Pray, forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zieks!
Is it cold in here, or is it just me?
As your antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination. So I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as self-evident truth, it would seem. No. And why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Bring forth the witnesses once more!
That was very extra.
This guy really doesn't do things by halves, does he?
No?
Witnesses! I trust you heard the summation examination we have just heard. I trust you have heard the examination. Fuck. I trust you heard the summation examination we just had to endure.
Oh, yes, sir. That I did, sir.
Of course I heard it.
Oh, yes, sir. I heard it.
You, sir, on the end. The coachman. I believe it's Beppo.
Yeah.
What? Heidi? What happened?
Hello?
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 Heidi? You okay? Mm.
What's going on?
I don't know. I heard Heidi say something, and it just kind of.
I heard something too, but I mean, I wouldn't really pay it any mind.
All right. Well, we'll try to keep going then.
Yes, sir, my lord, sir.
If it transpires that in your previous testimony you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir.
Oh, mio Dio. Oh.
Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination.
Is this a new one? It's a new one.
I only took 4 passengers at night. I swear it. But
Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
He fitted us on the fare, he did, and then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much.
I'll tell you, I saw McGilded stabbing the man. Everything I said before stands.
oh yes, yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so. Yes.
Counsel, make sense of this for me, please.
The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern never. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousin. I have no idea how to say that.
Bazanage?
Doesn't it?
Cousinage.
Heidi?
No idea what that means.
Oh yeah, there you are.
Cousinage.
Sounds French.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh,
Get yourself!
I'm terribly sorry, Master.
The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. You want to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare?
It's so cold. And the last run of the day is always half empty.
Why do these guild drivers have little cartoony beady eyes?
No idea.
You have been dishonest, coachman.
I'm sorry.
You're a disgrace, Beppo! A disgrace! And your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild!
If I may, sir. I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently.
No, that figures.
Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games.
Absolutely.
Yes, the fuck I am.
All right, let's see. We have statement 3. Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hold it!
I'm talking to myself again, oh boy. Earlier, you testified that you saw that the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that's right.
You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip.
I suppose I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe.
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck.
Oh, I expect that was me, sir.
Then I turned around, yes. Yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor, and the knife was sticking out of his midriff. That's right. And the fellow holding the handle was the famous man. Yes.
Can someone get him an extra sweater?
Or maybe light a fire near him?
Yeah.
Yes,
so even.
torch or something.
Give this man some hot cocoa immediately.
Exactly. So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all.
I really thought I did, but when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I did.
Oh,
What's
he's
this?
got some strong teeth.
Okay, well.
Ooh, crunchy sound.
Ooh.
Yep.
Hold on. Grudgy, stop streaming. go live. Okay.
It's better.
Okay. Pursuit.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. How polite of you. Do you have anything to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. You didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh?
Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed?
Some days are like that.
What?
It'd be like that sometimes.
Okay. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on the top of an omnibus, that is.
Piping? Respectable city baker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it clear as a Barat day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you.
Thank you, Mr. Fairplay.
Excuse me if I was getting a little hot under the collar there, my lord.
I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw.
I can do that all right. I'll tell you just how grim it was.
And he'll point in the sky, too. Okay.
You think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that butcher stabbed the man?
Just in case I have to examine if there's any new things. No. I guess that's the only thing. We already read this, though.
Yep.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna present.
Objection.
Blood-soaked. Blood-soaked hands?
Well, I admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar.
What? You want mate?
Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question.
Yes, right.
And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only the right-handed glove. What is he doing?
He's nibbling on it.
He's nibbling on his cane. Well, all right.
You know how some people like bite their nails? Yeah, this dude bites his cane.
Oh, his poor teeth.
His poor teeth indeed.
In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent.
Yeah. But no, that can't be right.
Oh, sorry.
So you're the liar here then?
You okay?
Yeah, sorry, I was kind of a little sleepy.
Oh. If you need to leave, it's fine.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go on, I'm fine.
Okay.
Arr! That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said, yeah. It was both hands.
What the fuck?
Oh, God. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Oi.
Objection!
Whoa.
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands. It was only one. But the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands. Which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court.
What? I'm a city baker for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard.
Waka waka.
I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe, and us upstanding members of society don't prevaricate.
He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case?
Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide in this trial completely.
Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. I have evidence! My lord!
Yes, counsel?
The defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove! Are you sure?
Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony. Grr.
Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court.
Okay, examine it. This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry.
Oh dear. Do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from a great detective friend, perhaps.
Ahaha.
It's almost I can hear him now. Actually, I wonder.
I assure you we will not find Mr. Shrooms' name inside.
Are you a mind reader? Okay, well, let's see what we find.
He's not thinking with his blue text. He's actually mumbling it to himself.
Oh, you know what? I can believe that.
Absolutely.
No, it's not even a joke. That's actually canonically what's happening.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not old gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Ah, goodness!
What is it?
Look at this! Do you see the name here?
Is it Herlock? Bruce Fairplay.
You wish.
Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually. Wait, we probably should have opened
Bruce
this before.
Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment!
Oh yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Ah, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? And look, the repayment date is fast approaching.
possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information.
Details of the debtor's ledger has been updated to the court record. Okay, well, I'm gonna...
Take that!
This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded.
Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused's extortion.
The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
Mr. Fairplay, currently indebted financially to the accused?
No. It's barely worthy of being called a debt.
I don't know what is it with Discord and loud lines being.
You might have the change game control automatically setting on.
Really? How do I stop it?
Let's see. Under voice and video at the bottom, there's an automatic gain control switch. This is for,
Is it automatically determine input sensitivity?
No, that's for your own mic, I believe.
Oh, so I had. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I turned it off. So that should be better right now, right? Okay. Okay. We continue. According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say?
Huh? I did the thing.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
What of it?
Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist.
Cease to exist.
Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw? In a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant?
Arkham, do you have the automatic volume control setting on?
I don't know.
Check
I
They
it.
think
just keep getting fainter and fainter.
I think you're, yeah, it's cutting off your screams.
Well, I'm not actually going all out on the screams either.
Yeah,
Well, even default, your audio is very low.
yeah.
Okay, well, what do I do?
Go to settings. Go to voice and video, and scroll all the way down past goes in voice processing. You'll see automatic gain control.
Hello?
Hello?
Turn that off?
Yeah.
All right, done.
Okay. We continue. Did you already do this, Trav?
Oh, no, I did not. I was waiting for y'all to finish up.
Okay.
Order! 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 Mr. Bruce Fairplay!
Yes.
Increase your gain.
Yeah, didn't hear that at all.
I heard it like a little bit.
I heard it, but it's just quiet. You don't need
Yes,
to.
my lord.
There we go.
Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth to your testimony.
Yeah, that's not the script at all. Okay.
All right. Now let's not make a melodrama out of this.
Increase your gain a bit more.
Oh my god, I've been doing that.
Yeah, I'm
How do I
sorry.
have to make it?
I'm sorry.
Maybe raise him up via your Discord profile, Ryusuke.
Wait, let me see if I can do that. Talk?
Blah 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 blah.
Okay, that's a little better. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch.
A pinch?
But it makes no difference. I'll definitely remember seeing blood on McGilda's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And yet, only one of the defendant's only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
Keep saying.
I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir.
Okay, give me a second.
Go ahead, Mr. First.
Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens.
Staring back at them.
What happened?
What's up?
Did you not see it? Look, see that Fair Play was just glaring at him the whole time.
Oh. That's fine.
Like a don't you fucking dare.
Seeing what? I
No,
see.
that-
The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I was sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one.
What?
What?
It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Mr. Naruhodo. This is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last.
Yes! I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. Witness testimony.
There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired. If that matters.
I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them.
I didn't see anything myself. No, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside that carriage, or we all would have seen.
Oops, my bad.
Well, lo and behold. In truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated.
Oh, apologize, my lord. But honestly, No, there was no one else inside the carriage. His hands were covered in blood. Such incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it.
That's really not what the testimony is about.
Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more.
Did you already do it, Arkham?
So it was on mute.
No.
I can't hear. I just hear mumbling.
What?
What?
I just hear like mumbling
From me or
from you and whoever else was talking.
Yeah, that was me. You might want to increase the volume on your side, Blackjack.
It's at 32.
I mean on our names.
Okay.
It's in the right click and
Yeah, I see it.
yeah, you got it. Okay, good.
I mean, no one was saying anything.
Oh, okay. Guess we're gonna check. Go ahead, Arkham.
The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's accounts. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case.
Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord.
Press everything.
Hold it! No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record.
I'm well aware of that, sir, but nevertheless. I know what I saw and I stand by it. The man had blood on both his hands.
Is defiant, even in the face of hard evidence. He's steadfastly refusing to admit that he might be mistaken about what he saw. But why?
Your reasoning is dire. One hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged. Minutes after the grim crime, the victim's blood dripped guiltily from the accused's fingers.
Don't try to downplay this. Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime is a matter of fundamental importance, as you well know.
Oh, but... Crying out loud, we all know that no one else could have possibly done it. I was just going to save us all some time.
You have a loan of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, do you not? Had you hoped to release yourself from that financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty?
That's not entirely, not what I was hoping for. I just lost a little guinea or 10 when I backed the wrong horse on the Derby, that's all. I was going to win it all back. Fixture this weekend. That's a sure thing.
A little guinea.
Gambling. Let me gamble harder to get out of it.
A little guinea or 10?
I'm a banker. No one bats an eye if I borrow a little spending money for the weekend.
Oh, what? Yes, sir, Mage.
Embezzling?
I think you may have revealed rather more about your character than you bargained for, sir.
I see a red bar. Hold on a sec. Oh, it's back. Okay.
Give me a second.
No worries. How's everyone feeling right now?
Good. I'm vibing.
Okay.
It is very hot in my room currently, though.
No. Same.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The problem with having a gaming PC is that it's a built-in heater.
Mm,
Well, I mean, comes in handy in winter, I guess.
Yeah.
Not in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since it's been like raining outside a lot recently. I can't open my window without like losing electricity like from the rest of the house. So like, yeah. Gotta suffer with it, but at least I'm warm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got the door cracked on my booth right now. The door gets fogged up when I'm in here for long sessions in the winter. I'm like, wow, that's
That's a lot of hot air.
Yep. It's like the back seat of the Titanic car.
I hope I haven't been peeking all that time I was yelling.
No.
I think you've been fine, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. He has a cross-shaped badge.
Sure does.
He sure does. He probably shows it to everyone. Hey, check out my badge. You like it?
He's real proud of that thing.
Mm-hmm. I think I might just play it on ahead, just for the heck of it. 'Cause, like, not now.
Yeah, you should. And
Yeah.
then you can get all the other crap you'd get from not following the guide.
Yeah. Yeah.
This witness's scruples are not on trial here. Proceed to the next witness.
Is that really how it's supposed to work? You definitely saw that too. Blood on both hands?
Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Mr. McGilden's gloves has any signs of blood on it. That's right. The thing is, as far as I remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGilded sitting beside the other fellow, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir.
He wasn't wearing these gloves?
That's correct, sir. And I saw the blood on both his bare hands quite clearly.
He hasn't left his gaze.
He really hasn't broken it the entire time.
It's true that the dark-colored stain on the dark leathered gloves wouldn't have been easy to see.
I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported that there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGilded's gloved hand.
There wasn't blood on his hands.
This is puzzling indeed.
This must be significant somehow. I'm sure of it. Not you again.
Hold it!
You didn't see anything?
Oh, yes, sir. That is to say, no, sir. I didn't. Very sorry about what I said before, sir. Very sorry. Yes. It was very wrong of me to make up stories and say I saw him stab that man. Wouldn't you agree, sir?
Oh, no, you're insinuating. I certainly wasn't making up stories.
Still, to say you saw nothing isn't right either, is it?
No, sir. I saw nothing at all.
Mr. Beppo, you were driving your horses. At the very least, you must have enjoyed a good view of London streets, no?
Ryunosuke.
Oh, please. You didn't even see that.
It was so cold that night. You see, it was all I could do to keep from passing out, sir. Yes, my head was fairly frozen. Sorry to say, sir.
It would seem prudent to avoid travel on the last omnibus service of London's cold winter nights.
Oh!
No!
Oh, he has eyes.
Yeah, I pointed that out. That like it seems like all the guild members,
Yeah, he does.
beady little cartoon.
They're
eyes.
frozen shut from the long winter rides.
Yeah. Okay. This is the last one. And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus?
That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over.
Oh, yes. I remember I was shivering. It was so bitter. Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place.
Well, I don't know about the young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin.
Oh? Why not?
It's locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door.
It was locked?
It was the bus service, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play. But
Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below.
well, I can assure you I wasn't just looking down. I was glaring, long and hard. That's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence. If there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say.
I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? They might not have been able to. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the floor of the upper deck. Is that right?
Right? Yes.
In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you.
What?
My golly, really?
Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nippon. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. The scene of the crime is here, in the flesh. As is Crunchy Audio.
Okay, here I go.
Yep.
Woo!
Woo!
Woo! Woo?
Very well.
Much better.
I will uphold the prosecution.
Did you do the line? I didn't hear.
Yeah,
All right.
You will identify the area on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated?
Bottom right seat, right?
Take that!
Both rows of the seats on the roof face in the direction of the travel. What is that line? Whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means the visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here.
Oh!
That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one on which the victim and his attacker was sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it.
Objection!
It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity.
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude.
Can you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, my bad. I honestly don't know. Who could have it been? Who could have been on the other seat, which was out of sight from the witness on the roof deck? I have an inkling, I have no idea. Ugh, I have literally no idea.
As a proud citizen of the Japanese Empire, you will look to the sky and walk on, making sure all signs of tears are gone. Go on.
This isn't the case of going on, Ms. Susato. All right then. I'll go on. The defense would like to put forward a name.
Oh my god, what a look.
You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations.
Yeah, called out.
Oh, jeez.
A toast to hard lessons not yet learned.
My heart sank.
That is not today, Council. Defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat.
This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was observed from view was Miss Susato. So I'm just kidding. Okay. Take that! The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Mr. McGilded? What are you talking about, Counsel? That's the name of the defendant!
Objection! Holy shit!
If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks, what the fuck, man?
People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly.
This racist fuck.
What are you trying to say, you racist fuck?
Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Objection! But that premise may be wrong.
What?
If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, Counsel?
The defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claim that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection! Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection! The point is, even in the face of irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, their testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on the passenger's hands, both of them. Objection!
And who was this third party?
Obviously, the true culprit.
Extraordinary! Order! 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 What exactly are you postulating?
Objection! The defense's postulation is just that. Nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated they saw the accused.
Objection. But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces.
Yeah. Tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I couldn't see the rest of them, though.
Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
Boy.
And what particular styles of hats did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First?
He's just staring.
Such a grimace. I'm afraid I don't remember.
And you call yourself a hatter?
The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin.
How can you be so sure?
Because if there had been, the accused, Mr. McGilded, would undoubtedly have offered to depose the fact. Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled.
He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it.
Order! There's clearly a simple solution to this problem.
Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand.
Well, what say you, counsel?
The prosecution objects, my lord.
On what grounds?
As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police.
But what if there's some reason why he was unable to speak freely?
Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If he tells the man withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act.
Counsel, for instance, what is your opinion?
My lord, should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify or not? Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury.
Oh, yes. I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say.
Get the man out here, I say.
It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say. Oh yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says the man must be heard.
Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Scored. Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. Oh, it's part 2.
Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure I have, my lord.
There are now 2 matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police?
Begad, no! 'Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all.
Just answer the questions, please.
The truth of the matter is I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell you all, or keep my mouth shut?
Tell us what, Mr. McGilded?
The fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true!
Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened.
You... What?!
No, Magnus McGilded. That convenient excuse can't save you now.
I'm truly sorry, so I am, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was?
Well, a little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and not in any way involved, you see.
What?
If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have hauled her into the Sir courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord.
Who was this young child of whom you speak?
That I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection! We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. Prosecution called for the witness's statements to be disregarded by the court.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings.
What? Ah, smoke! Fire!
Fire! Oh god, something's trying to get away. After them, this is no use, cough.
What's
Can't see
going
anything, all
on?
smoke. Careful with not hold on. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus.
I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff. Amid the scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber, we had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. To be continued. Alright. 18th February, 12:52 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. What on earth just happened in there?
Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened.
Ms. Susato.
I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke.
A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of things ninjas use.
They're just making sure everything's safe now. I think the trial will start again before long.
But who would have done something like that?
Police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently.
Flee the courtroom? Why?
Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear.
A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was talking about?
My thoughts exactly.
So he wasn't lying. Oh, what became of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here.
I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions. Along with a young girl.
Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what... Excuse me. And for what possible benefit to herself?
There's another matter that's troubling me.
What's that?
20 pence.
Oh,
According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. It comes to a total of 20 pence exactly.
but now it seems there were, in fact, 5 passengers.
Which means the figures don't seem to add up again.
She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away.
Well,
Oh, your backdraft, sorry.
Oh, no
whoever she
worries.
is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. Really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial.
We'll know soon enough, Ms. Susato.
Yes.
'18th February, 1:00 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. Who's gonna be?
Alright, who's voicing Gina?
I guess since you haven't talked a lot, I guess it'll be you.
Me?
Yeah, I guess.
Would be weird if McGilda talked to himself. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. There's a young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before.
Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilden. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks.
My lord?
I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which failed proceedings earlier.
It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army.
Good gracious! The army! What in the devil's name?
It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery. But she was caught. And now occupies the stand.
Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior?
Him, if I may, my lord.
Yes, Mr. McGilded.
I think perhaps I have to explain here why it is that Sweet Lass was here in the first place and why she treated Bolt like that. It is all tied up with the events of that night, so it is.
Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything.
On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then Begorra, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start.
Begorra.
There was that fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
Remain somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the 5th passenger, my lord.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. And are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start.
Yeah, our hero, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't judge me.
At least he's willing to admit he has no idea.
Actually, I'm gonna go get water. You're back.
Okay.
What?
He's getting water.
Yeah.
So, how's everyone doing?
I'm
It's
alright.
in my room right now.
Very
Well-
tired.
You removed some clothes. I don't think anybody would notice. At least not on the call.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if I want to do that on stream.
Even if
Just so long as you don't turn your camera on.
Listen, I'm in shorts and a tank top. I'm okay.
All right.
I just sweat kind of easily.
Are you hydrated?
Yes, I have water right here.
Okay.
Yes, it is absurdly hotter than usual, for some reason.
Oh,
Don't have,
where I
like,
live, it was
cooling
snowing,
or anything?
and it doesn't usually snow here.
Oh, really?
So, mm-hmm. It's weird.
Hmm?
So
Yeah.
it's weird, I said.
Oh,
Mhm.
what's weird?
That it's snowing, and it doesn't usually snow.
Huh.
You still sound real faint, dude.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you sound really faint.
Alright, well, I can... How about now?
Yeah,
better.
that sounds better.
Okay. We'll start now. And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board?
There were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either.
You were the first passenger, as it were. I see.
Aye, and that's why I took the back side as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is.
Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat?
By all means, to tell you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Oh, there!
A loud thud, you say? And a scream?
Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling to the ground, that sort of noise.
So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed?
Ah, well, no, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fellow on the floor.
You didn't see anyone. But at the same time, you did hear a scream?
From the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume.
Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was so stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes.
You sat up? The victim, you mean? You sat him up.
That I did, on the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would ya? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is. Common courtesy? How many dead bodies do you come across, buddy?
I find that a little hard to believe.
Ah, rah, Lord Van Zeeks. Now, why would that be?
You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any standing member of London society, that is.
Well, now, as you know, I'm in some of a special line of business.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest.
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try where it will possible to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble.
Are you? Oh, go ahead. Were you saying something,
Hello?
Arkham?
I was like, I do my best to avoid getting myself into trouble. Yeah, how's that working out, buddy?
In a court of law, in the defendant's seat.
Arkham, I have you turned up to 200%, and you're just like a whisper.
Right now,
Yes,
I don't know what to do.
He's,
me
pro-
either.
he's probably already at max right now. Well, what the fuck?
Heaven's alive! No, I was always intending to report it, so I was.
I guess you have to turn back the noise gain thing, Arkham. The automatic gain control.
Wait, is it supposed to be on or off?
We asked you to turn it off, but I'm starting to think that that's why we ended up being mute.
Looking at the other stuff, though, do you have your input volume up all the way?
Me?
Again.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's probably automatic gain control. Try. Go ahead and put it back on. We'll have to look into this later.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound better.
Yeah, it is the automatic gain control. Weird. All right, no worries. Now we know.
Won't it cut? Won't keeping it on cut us off when we get loud though?
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's okay. We'll just do our best, I guess.
Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first.
The whys and wherefores.
Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. How do I scream I heard, for example? Wouldn't your good self do just the same?
Yes. The scream he says he heard at the same time was as the thud of the victim collapsing. Should have took time to read all that before I said that out loud.
Hold it!
I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you heard. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim.
Oh, I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is.
What do you mean by that?
Well, now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under my
Wait.
backside.
Wait, what was that, Heidi?
G-audio.
Crunchy audio.
Crunchy audio, catch. I uncrunch you, you vile creature, you.
I'm crunched.
Fuck you.
Read you the line.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under my backside.
Good gracious! Your ass!
Under your backside?
And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage.
Mr. Nodholder, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember?
Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence.
This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside.
And that's when I found her.
We already looked through everything, didn't we?
Or did we?
Did we?
Or did we?
Oh no. Did we?
sure it would benefit us to have another look. Let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
The scene of the murder. It's horrible looking inside here. It's opening the door now. Again for the 5th time. Gah. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't seem to appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin at least. This seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it. And only just wide enough for 2 gentlemen to sit side by side, really.
Of course, an English gentlewoman would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up to the roof deck, so she would have to be seated in here.
A woman in kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impeccable, aren't they? Wow, what that wasn't there before.
Are you sure, Mr. Naruhodo?
Wait. We didn't look at everything, did we?
Pretty sure we did, Mr. Naruhodo.
Whatever. That's blood, isn't it?
Something wrong?
Oh, it's just, well, this blood stain was so obvious. That's all? And yet Van Zieks has made no mention of it.
I suppose that does seem a little strange.
Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? I have this...
You may want to examine the handle of the seat, by the way.
I will do that. This seat has a handle, it seems. There's nothing inside. Wait, what the fuck? There's nothing inside. There was stuff in here before. What happened to this?
You sure, Mr. Naruhodo?
What?
You sure?
Whoa.
Excuse me? No, I was sure. This is a storage compartment but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. But it had stuff in it before. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Oh. That's blood that's soaked into the seat, the victim's obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really just stab somebody in full view of other passengers like that, I wonder?
Well, it was after dark. There was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. Okay,
Do you think we ought to go up to the roof and perhaps look at what the other witnesses saw?
You probably are right.
Have you seen enough? Let's go back outside and go up to the roof.
Okay. Oh, we're not there yet, so...
Skylight.
Look at that.
So this is the roof deck of the omnibus.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Alright.
Isn't it time? It's 7:30.
Oh, you want to stop, guys?
Oh, I'm just saying. I can go longer. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I can go longer.
Me too. Alright, let's go.
Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London's streets from up here.
So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with cold air rushing past them? And they have to pay money to do so?
Ugh, I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That just made me think of something horrible.
Imagine being dragged around the city in the cold as punishment?
Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late. There's a latch on the skylight. Can you examine it?
I see. I can examine it. I don't know if I clicked on it.
I think you did.
All right. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening. That's for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not good for us. Nope, I did not click it.
Oh, I guess we need to further the trial before we can do that.
What do you mean? Oh,
Wink.
wink. Okay. So be it.
Hold it!
I don't know if I did this. You say she was hiding herself?
Aye, that's right. Start to see in the dim lamplight a bit, she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, me heart nearly stopped beating in me chest.
Ugh. You're really overacting this.
Still it all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chinwag with her.
Chinwag. The seat opposite.
That's right. Just next to the just next to the dead gentleman there.
You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir?
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fellow's voice this time.
Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats.
Alright, you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGillicuddy. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was, in fact, this girl and the late Mr. Mason?
Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Saved my vocal cords.
I got you. It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and really readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl.
I'm gonna be ignoring that. After that, of course. With the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses.
Thank you. I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl?
Who dis?
Who dis?
Her name is Jaina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket.
What?
Let's go here. A petty thief. Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question.
Holy shit!
What the fuck? What is the meaning of this?
Get the trial assaulting a judge.
What?
That's immediate jail.
Yeah.
Go! She's gone!
I think that's.
Is that me?
I think it's Gilded, but I don't know.
I think.
Oh wait, no, I think it's Gina. It's Gina.
Open your eyes. I'm over here.
Good gracious! How?
What was the point in that little side step?
I know what you all lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. Dirty little dipper, you say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't it?
No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine. Oh no!
Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers.
Gas explosion gun,
Professional,
apparently.
all right? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do.
Let me guess. You don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs.
Oh, this? Yeah, this was in a bag I lifted the other day, down where they keep the four-wheel drags.
You know, that gun looks familiar.
Suspiciously so, one might say.
Who was that?
Oh, nobody, Mr. Naruhodo, please pay me no mind.
It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink vest.
Oh, do not wave that thing in my direction again.
Try that with me, see what happens. So, you admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question.
It's alright, Lassie. Tell them the truth now.
All right. Yeah, it's just like the Irishman said.
The court accepts this girl, Miss Jean Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we'll now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question.
All right, if I have to. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. It was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles at night. I'll tell you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of me skin, I did. And the scream just came out. Because of that, this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind.
Yes, he let you go.
I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded.
Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I know that for a fact.
How?
As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for.
Oh, it's judge.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I don't think Trav was paying attention.
Oh,
Go.
sorry, what?
Don't worry about it, Trav. Don't worry.
This is where
Man, I'm
right?
sorry.
You're good.
And the cubby hole of which you have spoken is underneath this seat, I presume. Yes. It does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature.
Aye, but of course, the wee lass was stuck in there. Because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration. So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. And I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent.
Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question.
Not at all, my lord. Not at all. I knew in my own heart I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this misfortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman.
My lord! This fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this! I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir.
With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time.
Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leading to a verdict of not guilty?
Mr. Narahara, this... well, it must mean...
It must mean what?
that we're victorious!
We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
Oh, leg action.
If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray, do forgive the discourtesy. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in the British judicial practices.
Now I'm kind of curious how he looks like in another angle. Just doing that.
Me too.
Yeah.
This man's tall as fuck, though. We know that much for sure.
Yeah.
There's an unused sprite of him sitting sensually on the counter.
Like a cameo on your original goals, I suppose. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to put it in chat.
Yes, please.
Where evidence and reason can be paramount, emotion rules the day.
Emotion?
The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature.
What do you mean, his true nature?
Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission?
Yes.
They've made quite a few.
After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police.
Oh my gosh, I see that picture in chat.
So good.
I gotta see. Oh my god.
Nice.
We're just making it harder and harder for our editors, aren't we?
Okay.
Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report.
Good lord!
The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilded's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat.
What? Cesaro's just blankly staring at Ryunosuke. Like, oh boy.
What are you doing?
How could such a devious contrivance possibly ever been affected, Counsel?
Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary. Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend.
Me?
When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be?
Well, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy.
Sorry?
Go ahead! You tell the court now, fella. How this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Von Zeeks.
Well, Counsel, do you have something to say on this matter?
How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of the little compartment under the seat in this omnibus? It wasn't empty. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause as counsel for the defense. But as far as I remember, at least. When I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it, yes.
Are you sure, Counsel?
Happy whist. What are you saying now, you daft dog? I thought you were right tonight here.
Am I?
What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position?
As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand. But it seems to me that I should state the facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible.
Interesting.
Tis not altogether pleasing, fella.
I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded.
Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing my best interest here, lad. Now then. A fella's memory is a curious thing and not altogether reliable. Not a court must consider the facts. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit you might have been mistaken?
Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here?
I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. The compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth run of the carriage. The Guild's rules state that omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible.
Hey!
That's why I fucking said it. That money-lending fleeter and that pick purse are lying!
Give me.
Oh, hi.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
Give me a bed.
we hear ya.
Yeah, okay. Ah! I guess we're gonna wait on Arkham then. How's everyone feeling?
Good.
I'm alright.
I think it's actually cooled down in my room, so hey.
Oh, nice.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Are we nearing the end of this, actually?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're like-
Yeah, I have a feeling each of these just takes hours and hours and hours.
They're very
Yeah.
long.
I think this game kind of went crazy with the length of its cases since they weren't limited to, like, the DS or the 3DS's data compatibility.
Yeah. What I
So-
heard was the first 5 chapters, which are technically the first game. They're more like building up to the last 5 chapters, which is the second game.
Boy, is it good!
Well, there you go. You got your confirmation right there.
Does in fact slap. I know this to be true.
Yeah, there you go.
But, like, yeah, some of these cases drag on for a bit longer than they probably should.
Yeah, but that's okay.
That's okay. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we might end up finishing by July. at this pace.
Oh,
Could be like that.
Bigora.
Huh?
Faith in Bigora.
Yeah, you said it. Look at him, smugly juggling his little knife.
The fact that he does it with such accuracy every time,
Yeah,
powerful.
truly a man of his art. So this is what a barber is. He's a very good barber.
Okay, back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, the lot of them.
What? Oh no.
It's a trick. Of course it's a trick.
Quite so. I must concur here. calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time.
Is that your catchphrase, lady?
Indeed.
Yes, but every time is a different truth, it seems.
My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate.
Thank you, Counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination.
Oh, wasn't that good?
Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please.
Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. Wait, technically it would be my fault. Alright. Whatever, story.
Whatever.
You do you, story. Whatever you say. Alright. So, you are already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run?
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of spending a Joey to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea, isn't it?
I suppose she means there's no point in spending money to make money. It actually makes sense.
Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief. Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants.
Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20 to which the cabman testified. And 1 little scapegrace riding for free.
The conk of a driver always goes for some grub before his last run, see? So that's when I slip into the carriage and get myself hidden under the seat. Nice and easy, right?
But your hiding place is a storage compartment. Full of equipment for the coach, no?
Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in the corner somewhere. Oh, it never seems to bother much.
And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia.
Oh, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so it could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell ya.
Beppo's just crying in the corner for all his lost stuff.
Yeah, quite literally.
Wait. Wait a minute. Is there 2 coaches?
What?
What?
No.
No.
The crime scene is literally in the hall.
Okay.
It seems you've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue.
A waste of time. Why is that?
Well, most nights I'm on my own for in the guard permit at least some of the time.
I beg your pardon? Did you say God permit?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what my kind call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. Point is, any normal run the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while.
And that's when you came out of your hiding place and got away?
That's it. Only that night. This cove was sat on me seat from the start. He didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck.
Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin?
Yeah. Right, mister?
To be sure. I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do you?
So this is Miss Lestrade. So this Mr. Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then. Alright. So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all?
Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion up with my head and look out the crack. Look out. Can I have a butcher's at who I'm gonna fiddle? And she!
Okay, hold on. Yeah, that cursed image. Gotcha.
Surprised he's been able to understand her this far.
I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher.
I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other ones, see? But most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposite. But for some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head.
And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out, I see.
Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown in the clink. It's the only time to hide in them carriages, so it's Hobson's choice.
Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say there's some reason that she's not letting on, judging by her demeanor.
So anyways, was a bit scared, but I just had to stick it out under there. Nothing else for it. After a while, oh, never mind.
You did lead us.
You can skip over me.
I've said all this before.
When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor?
Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump.
And you let out a scream involuntarily.
That's right. And then I felt the cushion over my head get lighter all of a sudden.
Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes.
Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not?
Go. Did you see what happened at that crucial moment?
Yeah, I saw it. Pushed up the cushion and had a quick butcher's while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up the bloke what had fallen on the floor of the seat opposite. Matches Mr. McGildy's account, of course. But then, the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. Sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. I never should have risked looking.
Okay, last one. And when Mr. McGilda discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place?
I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down in the seat and all.
Next to the victim, Mr. Mason?
Yeah. The bloke had a knife in his guts. It was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit, and he ended up falling onto me. How awful. My hands got covered in blood. Made me feel sick as a dog.
Both her hands are covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilded for a while. Is that correct?
He asked me some stuff. Didn't know my name and what I was up to and that. I heard something from up above. Someone screamed.
Yes, Mr. Verst on the roof deck, one would presume.
Well, I didn't want no one seeing me face, so I didn't look up. And the horses were drawn up smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat, I'll see that you can get away later." All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent.
For one brief shining moment, yes.
It's clear that they were all they are all still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we would clinch the verdict we want.
Yes, I think you're right. And I have this niggling feeling. Niggling. Something is
Niggling?
bothering me. But I just can't quite put my finger on it. Niggling. Well, I pressed everything.
Oh dear. Oh, yeah.
Fine thing in that hiding place. It's pitch black in there.
Wonder what happens if I just press through everything. Okay. Oh, I see.
Hold it!
He doesn't watch Mr. McGilded. He's standing really still. Standing perfectly still.
Well, no.
He sounds like that.
I know, right?
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded?
Oh, I do apologize. Is there something the matter, Counsel?
I'm just wondering if Ms. Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking something to yourself.
Oh, no, it was nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass, is all. And I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was.
I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now.
Aye, and I don't know about yourself. But I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well.
Yeah. I suppose it does. Maybe.
Miss Lestrade! Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps?
Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring.
Red Shavers, there's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp.
The jabbers.
It's a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue.
Yes. What should we make of that last statement of hers? It's profoundly important, I would think. My lord! I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important.
Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing.
Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it.
I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Nevertheless... Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that last statement, please.
Supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do. Well, it won't work on me.
That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move.
And shoot at him.
Yeah, go for it.
She did in fact shoot at him upon introduction.
I was straining my ears to work out what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring.
So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time? Since the moment you hid yourself?
Not exactly, no.
Sorry?
Oh, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and have the butchers to see what was what. Then, when I saw this swell getting on, I got my head down so he didn't notice me.
And Mr. McGill had sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct?
Yeah! Would you Adam and David, eh? What a mug!
It's just...
But then all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out there as soon as I heard him leave, see? Would he? Not likely. Even though he stopped here and there, I never heard the door open. I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market, snoring like an old dog he was.
Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder?
Alright?
Yeah, I'm good. Mrs. Lestrade, what you have just told the court is clearly at odds with facts.
Odds? Oh, are you sure, man?
Absolutely.
It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared.
So Van Zieks realized it as too.
Counsel? I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least.
Yes, my lord.
I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court.
According to Miss Lestrade, whilst she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGill snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think!
Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. The sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person. What's this?
Yes.
What was that?
Yes.
Rice-fired Mason.
Yes, my lord. The sound of that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus.
Order! Order! Explain your reasoning, Counsel.
Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person to board the omnibus. Is that correct?
Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I?
And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGilded?
That it was. Not a soul when I was in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least not in plain sight.
So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at that time?
Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure.
And, from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all?
I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, weren't I? Waiting for this swell to leave.
In which case, when and how did the victim end up in that carriage? We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with that fact.
Ah!
Yes, this petty thief's statement was clearly flawed.
Lord Van Zieks.
Yes, he knew. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's statement.
It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend.
What are you talking about?
You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more.
He said right.
How could the victim not possibly have boarded this? Makes no sense whatsoever.
Says whatever. Pickpocket. Let's not forget that.
Uh-oh. She's ready to fire. And she fired. Ah! She didn't even say anything. You alive, Blackjack?
Blackjack.
I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she had some rather naughty ways.
Sorry.
Sorry. You fall asleep?
I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she has some rather naughty ways.
You doing okay?
I fell asleep
Oh,
sitting up.
Damn.
whoa.
Skills.
I think we might need to stop.
Yeah.
We've been at this for a while, yeah.
Yeah, we've
Ah.
almost.
Yeah, almost 3 hours.
Almost. That's pretty
Wow.
good.
Damn.
We'll finish.
Let's go.
We'll finish this next week.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, you're
No
good.
problem.
You're fine. You're fine. It happens.
I was trying to watch and I would like fall asleep in the middle of a line.
Oh no.
Oh.
Like, just suddenly someone new would be talking and.
It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. This is. All right. We're gonna end
It's
here.
definitely a Tuesday evening.
We will continue next week, and we'll
Yeah.
we'll finish this trial, then get to episode 4.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. We're at least 2 months.
Alrighty.
We're at least 2 months till we finish the first, the first game. Oh, all right.
Alright.
Alright.
That's it for now. Take care, guys.
Night, everyone.
And Happy New Year.
Happy
Oh, and
New Year.
remember, I don't know if I'll be able to join you guys next week because I have my wisdom teeth out on Thursday.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Rest up when that comes, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. My mom's a nurse, so she's definitely going to be assisting me with post-care or whatever you call it, recovery.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, well, I'll
Hope
see you
everything
guys
goes
later.
well.
All right,
Bye.
later.
Later.
Bye.